Hello, everybody, and welcome to Neurotic News. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm here with Dan Rath. He's going on tour next year, and so his shows will be on sale and all that. You're just shaking your head.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking how you have to do it and
how you have to do another hour of comedy.
you have to do the things in the future.
It's a lot better when you're just doing the plug.
Yeah.
The most enjoyable part of a project when it's over and you're just telling people it exists. That's what I find. I know that's I don't know, maybe vapid.
Relief is all we have. Really, relief is all we're looking for is a bit of that's over, that was done.
If you're a prophet, man, that would be one of your things. That'd be a picture of you. Like, they have Che Guevara on Target shirts, which I think is funny, ironically. And it'd be underneath, relief is all we have. It's like you looking into the distance like a important figure.
It's the only religion that is just about things being over and how it's good how they're over. It doesn't go any deeper than that.
Yeah, famous quotes like, we're in a constant state of malaise.
Yeah.
Dan Rath. It's like Lao Tzu.
Life is brain fog. You know how they do koans, like Zen koans? Like,
Yeah. Life is brain fog. My special is out. Dan Rath's on tour. We're going to be releasing Neurotic News. Follow us on social media, or me at least. Rathy might even have an account actually coming out. Might be out by now when this is released.
I have no idea.
You avoid the social media, don't you? You hate it.
Well, yeah, my carer is going to run it.
Your carer's going to run it?
She said that she would clip up some tasteful videos.
Some tasteful morsels.
Yeah, she can get addicted to Clip-tasy.
Clip-tasy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a great way of putting it. When you get stuck in the hole, it's like World War II, dude shooting a rat, someone kicking a soccer ball from far.
Yeah. On the train, I look at people like David Attenborough. You'll see someone doomscrolling TikTok without headphones.
Right.
And they're just giggling like they're rolling a meatball on a plate. Like, huh? It's a weird.
Do you think people giggle when they're rolling meatballs?
Yeah.
Because people listening to this will be like, well, like they won't get the meatball thing because you're moving your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying the action of flipping through your phone is like rolling a meatball.
Just reminds me when I was at school, a kid was rolling a meatball on a plate laughing.
Right.
But he was also in a state of mild despair. And that kind of captures the emotion of a scroll.
Yeah, it is horrible, isn't it? Clip-tasy. It's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, Clip-tasy is the drug of our time. And I see it at the gym. I see these guys, they doom scroll and then they lift the weight and go, ah! And it kind of looks like a delayed onset scream.
Right.
From what they've been looking at.
Oh.
Like drone strikes in Fallujah and then they lift the weight and let the existential howl out.
I see what you mean, yeah. So they do the phone, then they walk away for a second, have a breather, and then they're screaming. Yeah.
As they deadlift.
Kind of feels that way a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, doom scrolling.
Yeah.
You get stuck in the vortex and you walk away, you're like, whew, fuck. What was that?
Yeah.
Where was I?
I can't spell.
They're getting good, eh?
Yeah.
Like it is a vortex.
You get the opposite from reading a book from the 19th century.
Or just reading a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. But specifically the 19th century.
Well, those books, I find they're hard to read because there's so many double negatives.
Right.
It'll be like, he didn't not go to the shops.
Yeah, they're hard to read, eh?
You know when they do that?
Yeah.
You have to calculate the sentence. So he wasn't not there, but then was.
So he did not go to the shop.
Yeah, so you read the next sentence to see if he's at the shop. He's browsing, so he must have gone.
I feel like shops weren't as popular back those days.
Maybe haberdasheries or whatever they called them.
Yeah. Going down to the shop.
I feel like Captain Hook would have been into crypto. I just feel, don't you think he'd be into Bitcoin or something?
Yeah, okay. So we're now changing topics.
Yeah.
So Captain Hook from Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So he's a famous pirate with a hook for a hand, flowing black hair, pirate's hat, and Peter Pan, the Disney fairy, goes after a fairy.
Yeah.
And Peter Pan is the king of the fairies, and the woman, there's a kid
Yeah.
And Peter
Tinkerbell.
Yeah, so you're saying Captain Hook looks like he'd be into crypto.
Yeah.
He looks like he'd be a guest on Rogan.
Yeah.
He's got a hook and he's got crazy hair and he's like, yeah, well, when I started, I was the only pirate.
Yeah. He's like,
Now
you've
there's
seen
so
the
many.
Bermuda Triangle, right? Yeah. We actually
That's
dock
Rogan
there.
asking Captain Hook if he's seen the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, he'd be like, yeah, I do. We dock there all the time. We're looking for Peter Pan.
Really, you dock there? That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. I mean, you guys are working out on the pirate ship, right?
Yeah. They do ice baths in the Caribbean. Bomb dive.
I mean, is it because of his weird attire and shit? He just looks eccentric that makes you think he'd be into crypto?
I just feel like the pirate lifestyle lends itself to that, to having like a crypto wallet. Just because it's like we're out at sea, who knows where we'll land. This is like a currency that's encrypted. We're trading like whale ivory and, I'm trying to kill a fairy. Like, let's just use Ethereum. Like, I just feel.
Yeah, I guess they are eclectic activities that you associate with someone who might get into crypto.
Well, you imagine him with a bag of coins as well. Like having a bit of coin and Bitcoin. Like having both.
That's a pretty good pun.
Yeah,
Bitcoin and Bitcoin.
I got a bit of coin and Bitcoin because I'm a pirate. Got to have both.
Fuck it up. This is a wild
I just
start.
can't imagine Captain Hook pay passing
Right.
for something because it leads like a paper trail. He's not going to want to be tracked.
That's the problem with stand-up today is that no one probably even knows who Peter Pan is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to do a bit about Captain Hook being into crypto and everyone's like, who the fuck is Captain Hook?
Yeah.
Is that one of Trump's advisors?
Yeah, Todd. I find that the only shared cultural references we have now are Two Girls, One Cup and 9/11
Right.
because they're the only ones you remember where you were when you heard of them and you cried. So it's like, you're like, oh yeah, them.
Or masturbated, depending who you were.
Yeah, with the towers. Yeah, but it's just gets the wrong one because of the towers. No. But I feel like, do you find like, do you find like I feel like the kid that is drinking wine at the table.
I'm really enjoying trying to segue into this.
I've had a segue, but there's like
Dan is trying to segue into this next bit.
There's like European kids that drink Shiraz at the table.
Yeah, okay.
And they end up well adjusted.
Right, okay. So now we're okay. Yeah, so I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
There is a thing that I think is common in popular culture that the kid that gets the strictest parents, not allowed to do anything, not allowed to touch alcohol, not allowed to smoke, like obviously, but like strict parents, tiger parents often go on to smoke crack.
Yeah.
And then the kid that's like, yeah, I was allowed to do whatever I want, they end up getting into their 20s and just becoming
An
accountants.
Anglican minister, yeah. Just a normal tranquility. It's weird. It's like, it's the kid who's not allowed to watch Simpsons ends up, injecting heroin into the eye of his dick.
Into the eye.
Yeah. Like it's the complete opposite because they never got to meet Homer.
And which one were you?
I reckon I was the first.
Not allowed?
No, I reckon I was a mix.
Yeah, me too.
Like a hybrid.
Like there was
Like I watched The Simpsons, but
Yeah.
it was difficult
Yeah,
to get it going.
me too, yeah. Like I was doing the drugs and saw like and had strictness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't allowed to be doing them, but also, was allowed to do certain things, like a mixture.
Like a Prius hybrid.
So you don't fall totally off the cliff when you get to your 20s. You just stare at the edge. Like I've been to the edge of it kind of thing.
And it's weird when you're a kid and your parents have their friends over. Everything changes. They all start acting differently. Like all the good cutlery comes out. It's like, it kind of reminds me of like when Berlin hosted the Olympics in 1936. Like the anti-Semitic propaganda comes down.
When your parents have friends over.
The good knife and fork comes out.
Yeah, it's so true, hey, because all the kids misbehaving and all the fucking holes in the wall, all of the, you know, like all the behavior and shit, everything gets hidden.
Yeah, yeah. It's a functioning society.
Yeah, it's a functioning family. There's no distrust and aggression.
And then America comes over and is like, what's wrong with the Berlin's fine.
Yeah, it's going
Looks
great.
good. The strudel's great. There's no oppression. Just had a fucking schnitzel.
Just had a fucking schnitzel. Well, we're in Newstead, and for people that aren't from Queensland, think Bondi. Wouldn't you say?
Bondi without an ocean.
Which is kind of like LA, I guess, but without any of the culture or good stuff.
Yeah, it's screaming for an ocean, I think.
Newstead?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does like Burley Heads, Bondi.
It's kind of, it's got that Bondi feeling of just like non-playable characters in yoga pastels with AirPods having like conversations about Pokeballs.
Yeah, they do seem like God just had an extra and just used a lot of them in one area.
Yeah, it feels like whoever's running the simulation is doing a lot of 3D printing.
Just that one again.
Yeah.
In the tights, the Lorna Jane.
Yeah, you overhear conversations like, I just got uninvited from a wedding.
Uninvited's a great word.
Yeah.
Uninvited, I love that.
I'm being gaslit. I would actually enjoy being gaslit.
Right,
I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah?
I enjoy being gaslit because it's like someone's like, no, you're crazy. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Thanks.
Yeah.
And then I can keep going. I don't want someone going, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, you are like, you're not crazy.
Yeah, no, you're doing
well, man. That was
man.
disrespect.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're doing is correct. Don't listen to them.
Yeah.
You prefer the guys like, no, listen to them. It's fucked. Like, you're what you did was wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. You're weird, man. You're crazy.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I prefer.
So you just think gaslighting is just a type of truth?
Yeah. I didn't even know it was a form of abuse until they gave it a term.
Right.
I just thought it was friends being friends.
Yeah.
Like, your friends playing video games, and he's like, you've had a turn. You already played a turn. You're like,
I don't remember getting to go.
Oh, you did. You're crazy. I'm like, no, you're right. I am nuts. I think I did. No, you're right. I did play. Like, I kind of enjoy it because you get to live in a fantasy.
I think all these circumstances end up with you just being crazy and you going, yeah, you're right. Like,
yeah. Well, that's one of the textbook examples of gaslighting. You go, no, you're nuts.
Yeah, that is the one, isn't it? Yeah.
And then they go, oh, shit, and that's bad? I'm like, no, gaslight me away.
Yeah, I feel like places like Newstead, there's literally a place called Gasworks. Like,
it should be called Gaslit.
Because it's all people talk about there, you know, those kinds of things. I saw a Subway like in amongst all the inner city gentrified old factories in a Subway. Like, that's not going to last long.
Well, don't you find like Subways with all the fluorescent lights, it's like a morgue? It's like they're doing autopsies on footlongs.
Yeah.
Just a depressed dude in rubber gloves, just like reaching into a metallic trough to get miscellaneous meat.
Oh my God, yeah.
On a scoop.
Oh, it's true. It does have a real clinical medical feel, which isn't really, and it's crazy to me because
you get the chicken fillet and you're like, how did that horse die?
That's a crazy conversation. You're crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a crazy conversation to be like, yeah, you get a chicken fillet. How'd the horse die? That's a great line for Subway.
Yeah, how did that horse die? They're like, well, it does look like I'm doing an autopsy on this meat.
It's a fair question when the mascot for the whole organisation was a pedophile.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad start.
No, they were, not only was the CEO or the mascot was a pedophile, but also they were using yoga mats that were getting chewed up and put into the
Yeah, what was the purpose of that though? Wouldn't it be more expensive to put yoga mats into your meat?
I think once the yoga mat's done with, it can help make a chicken fillet stay sturdy.
Oh my God. Fucking hell.
But they're still around.
Yeah,
It's a great place. But yeah.
I find the gentrification thing fascinating. I mean, it's a regular topic on our podcast, and you were telling me about how now telephone boxes are in museums.
Yeah.
Which is a trippy thing because we grew up with telephone boxes.
They're repossessing telephone boxes and putting them into museums as artifacts, historical artifacts of how people used to communicate.
Fucking hell, that's
happening in like the UK and America, and
Right.
it'll happen here.
right. Yeah,
It is
well,
happening
particularly
here.
in the UK because they were beautiful. Like they have cultural significance. The telephone
it's-
boxes, they're like, you know,
Yeah.
like Doctor Who and
But the Telstra payphones, it's one of the few historical artifacts that a meth head still uses.
well,
do a
that's
drug deal?
that's the funny thing is when they put them in the museum, the last person to use them was a meth head.
Yeah.
Or someone selling meth.
They should record that phone call and have a button next to the exhibit where you can press it and just hear the conversation that Trevor had.
You mean like in museums where you can
Yeah.
play an audio cue that goes with the piece?
Yeah, it'll have like Churchill's face next to a gramophone and you press it and he's like, we will fight on the beaches.
Yeah, but this is like a telephone box and you press it and it's like, you fucking told me what, cunt? We're fucking coming now. We'll fucking kill you, cunt.
Yeah.
We'll fucking kill you. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so I suppose, yeah. Sounded like I guess they were different back then.
Yeah, well, that's why I think they should get the meth head having the last phone call and bring him into the museum as well.
Put him in a box.
Put him behind
Yeah.
a glass exhibit and you press the thing and also just have his face smash against the glass.
Fuck you looking at.
Yeah,
Right.
like a zombie that's been quarantined and 28 days later.
Right, so you get the full experience, the cultural experience and the significance of the telephone box.
Yeah. So like your little Timmy's pressing the button and then he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And then the parent's like, he can't do anything. That glass is sturdy, isn't it? They use
Relax, you
fortified
can't-
perspex.
Relax, you can't get out.
Yeah. And it's like an educational thing. What does drag a cunt behind a ute mean? It's a way they used to communicate back then.
It's so strange to think of technology like that technology that's ended up in museums, what it would have last been used for. Like you don't picture Morse code as a form of communication before it got put into a museum. Like the last thing it was used for was fuck, where are you, cunt? Like tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is you, cunt? You fucking told me you fucking be here.
Tap, tap,
Tap,
tap.
tap.
Yeah.
Long tap, 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 tap.
Gay cunt. Yeah, it's like tap. Like the last thing it was used was gay cunt.
Yeah. And then it goes in a museum.
Yeah.
But payphones, that would be true.
Yeah. Like the last Morse code message, if that was that, it would be funny because it would have been on a submarine or something.
Yeah.
It might
I'm
have been
fucking
like,
stuck down here.
yeah,
You're up there fucking around with Terry, you cunt.
tap, tap. Have you seen my periscope, cunt? I'm looking right at you. On your life raft, you dog.
So this is a guy in the submarine
Yeah, with
looking
the
through the
periscope.
telescope, looking at cunts out.
But tapping at him?
It's weird to think of a bogan or like a meth head in a submarine with a fucking periscope looking at guns.
Just abusing someone
It's just
with
a
Morse
funny
code.
vehicle for them.
Yeah.
Because you think of, I've seen push bikes, scooters, I've seen utes, you know, like cars out the window. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You don't often think of like the old timey periscope with the voice thing, like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking coming for you. And it's like a periscope coming above the water
Yeah.
in the Brisbane River.
Yeah, you don't think of that. You're right. It's like you'll see a 60-year-old on a BMX at Broadbeach, but you can't imagine him in looking through a periscope tapping cunt.
Yeah, you're right. You do see meth heads, like older meth heads on push bikes.
Yeah.
You see that for sure.
They'll
it's
use
funny
payphones too.
It's yeah, and use payphones. But it's also funny to think of them in old vehicles like a penny farthing.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm going to find the cunt now. And he gets up on the big penny farthing.
Yeah.
He's running like fucking ride him real quick on
He's
a penny
holding a
farthing.
lantern.
Yeah.
It's like, where the fuck is he, the cunt? Like just old-timey,
Yeah.
like covered in soot.
You know they call goth punk or whatever?
Yeah, steampunk.
Steampunk? Yeah. It's like that, but meth punk.
Yeah.
Fucking where is the cunt? He's got like an old timey trench coat and fucking like a walking stick and a penny
A
farthing.
monocle.
Yeah.
Because his other eye got swooping magpie bitted out. Like gouged out by a swooping magpie. It's like, fuck, cunt. And he's just got a monocle.
He's got a monocle. I'm fucking coming for you.
And a line bike helmet.
He's using his monocle to look at the quality of the meth.
I always see meth heads with line bike helmets and no bike.
Something to sell. Yeah, because now, of course, you know, we've all got our own phone. And I think in the future, like if that's the case for payphones, like Apple, like I could see Apple being a religion in hundreds of years. Because of like Steve Jobs has a prophet-like quality about him and video and,
He died for us.
He died for us.
From stress and radiation poisoning.
Yeah, apparently.
That's the modern crucifix.
Yeah. He died for us, and his speeches and, you know, his videos of him will be like ancient texts because, of course, 200 years, video would be like us finding a chipped bit of stone from ancient Egypt and be like Apple, and people worship it and it become like a religion. You'd have like a
The
apple
emojis will be like hieroglyphs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're laughing hysterically.
Like the monkey one that's like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there's a monkey that you do this when you're confused.
Yeah, they used to send these to each other through the ancient medium of iPhones.
Yeah, because they'll just be reading brains.
Yeah, look at
Thoughts.
this. Yeah, but they go to the museum and there's like a broken down iPhone and bits of it all apart and like digital printouts of what was texted. You up?
Yeah.
Like Hinge. You up?
The fact that that'll be, like scrolling will be as ancient as a Tibetan scroll is to us.
Fuck, that's a very clever. Yeah.
Like it'll be like parchment to them. They used to scroll.
Yeah, it wasn't with their minds, telepathic and so on, or whatever the future will
They
be.
used to have to click thumbs up, which meant they were still on board with that person, so that person could sleep. They add extra
I
details.
like how
to
you're
the specific.
you're bringing in your own neurosis.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be crazy to historicize that modern stuff now.
Yeah, I think that they'll look back on it as toxic.
I also imagine Steve Jobs mummified or embalmed or something.
Yeah, I
with the
could see that.
turtleneck.
Yeah.
And the turtleneck becoming a religious garb.
Like Jesus and his robes or the thing he's wearing on the cross. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
The turtleneck, yeah. No one would wear it anymore and so on. It'd be considered outrageous.
Yeah, and pancreatitis, the modern crucifix.
I love it.
Or whatever he had problems producing insulin.
It's a brilliant idea.
It is weird with museums as well that they have the oppressor gets a statue outside and the oppressed are inside behind a glass box.
Oh, explain that.
Or you go to a museum, there'll be like a statue of like Captain Cook out the front, but inside there'll be like indigenous remains.
Oh, right. Fuck, that's interesting.
It's just weird that they get a statue outside. It's like,
yeah,
no, that's
yeah.
not an exhibit.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And I think that's what they were saying. They wanted to tear down the statues and put them inside.
Right, I see.
And behind a glass box.
Yeah, fuck, that's interesting. Well, the British Museum is just every country, everything that they wanted from it in one place that they took.
And they're not giving it back.
And some people are asking for it back, eh? They're giving
the
some of it back,
Pantheon
aren't they?
marbles?
What is that?
Yeah, so I thought it was like a bunch of marbles, like that you could play marbles with them, but...
Wog marbles.
Yeah, I thought they were wog marbles, but they're actually marbles of wogs.
Are they?
Yeah.
So there's wogs on the marbles?
Yeah. And the Greeks...
That's a very wog thing, to be like at the marble, put the face on it, mate.
And the Greeks are like, please give it back, bro.
Brother, listen.
Yeah, and the British are like, we can't.
Like that was the most sinister British.
It is hard with the Mediterranean and Middle East to know where the feta ends and the hummus starts.
Yeah, it's
I find with Greeks
because of the
Cyprus.
geographically being so close to the Middle East.
Yeah,
Mate, where's the feta end and the hummus start?
there'd be a place I reckon where the feta would actually end and the hummus would actually start. They'd be
That's a
like, the
good
feta
place.
stops just here, mate.
You know where it is?
And then the
I'll tell
hummus-
you. Turkey.
Yeah.
You get some good feta, and that's the feta hummus. That's where the two, like Roman Empire conquered
Yeah.
Istanbul, Constantinople, and it's where there's sort of a gateway to the Middle East. It's sort of in between those two worlds.
I might go there for a new head of hair and a hummus dip.
Just make it sound like you get in a pool of hummus, like that's the new thing, and absorb the nutrients and so on.
I wouldn't be surprised. There'll be a Wim Hof for hummus.
Mm.
He dips in. He's like,
Make
it's good.
it gold and so on.
Yeah, like a Turkish Wim Hof. You get in the hummus, bro. And you breathe
Yeah,
into the
you
hummus.
get in the hummus, bruh. Hey, Matt, get in the hummus, bruh.
We're going to do a hummus dip. And you're like, do you mean with like bread and baba ganoush? No, we get in the dip. Dip in the hummus. And you're like, really? Yeah, get your board shorts on. We're going to dip in the hummus.
Oh, fuck.
But it's not cold or hot. It's just room temp.
Yeah.
So you just kind of sit there and...
No, it's good, Matt. He's like, is it?
Has this been peer reviewed, mate?
Brother Uberman agree.
Is Brother Uberman? Brother Uber driver?
Yeah, I went over there and tried the hummus dip. I got in there and I found a 2-3 increase in productivity. I was able to sleep better, and Nikos was 100% correct. He hosted me, and he really that was good, Matt.
It really helped with my protocol.
I injected stem cells into my cock to see if it would help with erections at night that are good for your heart.
I ended up having to eat tacos with my grandma for the human connection.
If you can't find someone to have a conversation with in your debilitating loneliness, you can take this pill that it simulates a hug.
Yeah.
It's a weird world.
Uberman.
I like watching you trying to think of stuff on him.
I was just thinking, like, if you Uberman the Uber driver, you know? Like, if he wrapped up the podcast and was driving Ubers.
Right.
Like, as Uberman.
Uberman, the Uber driver.
It's funny because I've been banned from Uber Eats, so I have to pick up my takeaway. And I don't have a car, so I log into a Lime bike, cycle to the restaurant, and go to the pickup zone at the restaurant.
Right.
But I have to queue up with the Uber drivers.
Right.
Because, so they think I'm an Uber driver that just doesn't have a backpack.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, no, I just look like you and act like you, but I'm not on the app.
Yeah,
Like, the irony is...
There's a disconnect.
You get banned from Uber Eats, now you act like you work for them.
It's like one of the guys from upstairs in the Titanic going to the machine room
Yeah.
where they're all dancing and singing, like...
Yeah, I'm
Like,
there,
there's a-
like, vaping,
yeah.
Mango Lassie, like...
having conversation with the other people around the moped.
Yeah. Like, I'm hanging out, and they're like, do you even have the app?
Where's your box? Like your big square cube you wear on the back.
I'm raw dogging it.
You're just carrying it around.
I put it in the green basket of the Lime bike,
Gangster.
put the pad thai there, take it home. It looks like a delivery driver is going into their house they're delivering to. Because I've got the thing, like the bike, I pull up, come in with the thing, and then I open the door and go. It's
Right,
like, shouldn't he be just taking a photo?
Someone's watching from their balcony, like that Uber driver just went inside and never came out.
Yeah. They call the cops.
Yeah.
I just saw an Uber driver go into a house.
And never come out.
He's using the TV and eating the meal.
I can see him.
Just someone who's like...
Also, he's got red hair. It's really unusual.
Yeah, he was riding a green bike and had red hair. Is that allowed in the inner city?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right, does it?
Yeah.
It's a strange complaint to Uber.
Yeah.
An Uber Eats guy had red hair and a green bike. I don't know if that's a problem or it just seems very unusual.
He's watching the penguin. He's drinking a Grimace shake.
He looks really sad.
Yeah. He's alone.
He looks indifferent.
Yeah. He's watching the penguin indifferently. while drinking a Grimace shake, which is another off-Broadway character.
The Grimace shake, is that popular?
That's popular, but I think Grimace...
Is it good?
I said to my psychologist that Ronald McDonald to Grimace is the same ratio as Batman to the Penguin.
Okay.
In terms of like, Batman's the main one.
Right.
We were making a song and dance about the
side
side character.
one.
Same with Grimace.
So just
She
back
upped the
in...
medication.
I was going to say, why are you
renewed
bringing
the
this up
license.
with your psychologist?
I just find you run out of stuff to talk about and you kind of just end up showing him like a map you made of like Ronald McDonald divided by Grimace equals Batman divided by Penguin. You run out because it's an hour and she'll go an hour and 10.
I love that you're running out of stuff to talk to your psychologist about.
I can get to 30, but you can't book half-hour segments when you get in bulk build.
So it's a real problem for you to find stuff to talk about.
I just find you run out of steam.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
I don't know if you find that where you're kind of like, okay, I'm done.
It's been a while since I've been back, but yeah, I don't know. Normally there's enough problems in my life to go an extra hour.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we get through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
I feel like half an hour might be good because then you condensed all your bullshit and get in, get out.
they should do high intensity interval training, but for psychology appointments,
Right.
you go in for 10 seconds. And you're like, I'm sad and lonely. And
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, Uber psychology, where you just, go, because everyone's so mentally unwell at the moment and you need the appointment. Like I need it now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm at home alone, I'm going through an episode. Everyone gets these dark,
Yeah.
and they call friends. They're like, fuck, please, like what's going on in my life? It'd be great if you could just go Uber psychology and they just turn up and go, listen, brother, you're doing okay. Like they're the same drivers that are also delivering your pad thai.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, thanks, man. I feel better. Thanks for telling me it's all right. Just try to do deep breathing. Also, here's your pad thai. Oh, it's cold, man. Not to be a dick or whatever, but, you could have gotten that here sooner and so on.
I'll give you 5 stars for the psych, but 3 for this.
Please, brother, I'm desperate.
Yeah, rate me.
You say rape me?
Give me a rating.
I thought I thought you said rape me.
That'd
Which
be
is such
weird.
a different...
Vikram, no. That would be good because you need lunch and help.
It would be a handy service, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Get a curry, get some CBD, CBT, CBD.
The problem is you eat a curry, you feel more alone. So it's almost like you need them to deliver the food and stay for when you finish.
Yeah. Because the eating bit's like, that's enjoyable. You've got
Yeah.
something to do. And then it finishes and you're still alone. That's when...
So he comes in and watches you eat
Mm,
and then you talk.
mm. All right. I feel like we should wrap up here. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I hope you enjoyed that. And we'll be back. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks so much.
And we'll see you next time.